Please repeat. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopa kumaraya govindaya namo namah. Hare Krishna. So last week we discussed, what was the last week's chapter? How Parikshit Maharaj received the age of Kali. Yes, bro? Mother Earth. Yes. How Parikshit Maharaj received the age of Kali. So Sud Goswami ji tells Shaunakadi Rishi that once Parikshit Maharaj near his camp, when he went on Digvijay, he went all around. Dig means all the disha, all the directions. When he went for the victory, or when he went to, like we discussed, that it was not really victory to expand the kingdom. It was more to make sure that everything is all right in his kingdom and that everybody is following the religious principles. As he was walking past, he noticed that there was somebody who was dressed as a king and he was beating cow and bull. And then Parikshit Maharaj, as he saw them, then Parikshit Maharaj gave him punishment. So the point to understand is he gave him the punishment, and then the Rishi Muni asked, why did he give him the punishment? Why didn't he kill him? So that is the question we often ask ourselves also. So today we will try to understand that what was the reason behind him not killing him, but just punishing him. Very important, because we are all impacted by Kali. And we think, what if, let's hope this thing hadn't happened. If this thing wasn't there, we would have been protected, right? That's how we think. But here it's very important in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So they are asking, and when they ask, what did they say? That please tell us about this, if this is related to Krishna Katha. If this is related to the Krishna Katha, then it is. Yeah? So today's chapter is how Parikshit Maharaj curbed, or the chapter is titled, let me share my screen. You can see it? No. You can't see it. Yes. Yeah. So chapter 17. It is titled Punishment and Reward for Kali, of Kali. He was punished and as well as he was rewarded. So there is a chapter, we'll discuss that. So we will take one shlok and then we will progress. Please. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate वासुदेवाय
अथैतानि न सेवेत
अद्वैतानि न सेवेत
अथैतानि न सेवेत
अद्वैतानि न सेवेत
बुभुषु पुरुष क्वचित्
बुभुषु पुरुषाकृति
बुभुषु पुरुष क्वचित्
बुभुषु पुरुषाकृति
विशेषतो धर्मशीलो
विशेषतो धर्मशीलो
विशेषतो धर्मशीलो
विशेषतो धर्मशीलो
राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः
राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः
राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः
राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः
Word by word translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. Atha, therefore, etani, all these, na, never, sevet, come in contact, bubhushu, those who desire well-being, purusha, person, kvachit, in any circumstances, visheshatah, specifically, dharmashila, those who are on the progressive path of liberation, Raja, the king, Lokpati, public leader, Guru, the Brahmanas and the Sannyasis. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, Brahmanas and Sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above mentioned irreligious principles. And we'll discuss these irreligious principles, and then we will again conclude today's class at this verse. Yeah. So purport, please hear the purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. The Brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all the castes, and the Sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. Yeah. Brahmanas, they're performing Brahmanical activities, and Sannyasis, they're spiritual. They are providing the Adhyatmic knowledge, spiritual knowledge. They give that knowledge. Yeah. So also, and the difference is Sannyasis is called Niragni. My Guru Maharaj says he's called Niragni. Niragni is he never cooks. He's he never cooks. There is no, or you can say he's taking bath in a cold water. There is no fire. You know? So, but specifically, all the related to bodily comforts, Sannyasi is not. So he's all spiritual. That is his purpose. You know? How to give spiritual knowledge to the. So Brahmana and Sannyasi. This is the difference. Yeah. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religiousness and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahman at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud of or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is the basic principle for all religions. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the Brahman, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of the 4 disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. So this is the criteria given, as well as the instructions given by Sutta Goswami to all these leaders of the society. As in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that yad yad acharati shreshthas tat tat eva tarojana sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. Lord Krishna is telling, when Arjun says, I don't want to fight, Lord Krishna says, no. Even I am here, I am discharging my duties. He gave the example of Janak Maharaj. He said, everybody, we have to do our duties. And that's where Krishna tells him that you, as a prominent figure in the society, if you and I, if we perform these type of tasks, if I say, I don't want to do any karma, right? Then everybody will follow the same thing. So that is the lesson. That is the message from Lord Krishna, that the leaders of the society, they should lead with example. Their behavior should be exemplary. My Guru Maharaj says, हम किसी के चरणों की पूजा नहीं करते हैं, हम उसके आचरण की पूजा करते हैं. When we paying our obeisances to someone's feet, हम उसके चरणों को नहीं धो रहे हैं, हम उसके आचरण को धो रहे हैं. मतलब we are trying to imbibe that आचरण. So आचरण, यद आचरति. So these are the places. So this is a warning by Sutta Goswami that we should stay away from this. Okay, let's do Mangalacharan and then we will discuss. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarobhyascha Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhuter Mahadbhir Yaima Puro Vibho Nirmaya Shete Yadamosha Purusha Bhumte Gunansho Dashasho Dashatmakam Solanka Sreshta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharnagatam Katha amritam satat pibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Pantanam Sarvalok Rishi Dev Janma Prasannam Sarvalok Rishi Dev Janma Prasannam. Okay. So let me start this one. So as we know, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he decided to retire and he could already see the symptoms of Kali before he retired. And he handed over the kingdom to Parikshit Maharaj. He did not leave his responsibilities. When he saw that this is the right time, that he did not retire. By the point I want to highlight is, he did not retire because he saw Kali Yuga is coming. Let's not make that conclusion, right? He retired because the time was right. Lord Krishna had departed. They were feeling the separation, but Parikshit Maharaj was ready to take over. Right? Who was Susam Gunai. He was same as Guna, as qualities as Yudhishthira Maharaj. But the sign of Kali were there. He could see that. And then Parikshit Maharaj, when he inherited the kingdom, he also noticed the sign of Kali. He noticed the sign of Kali and how he actually first came to know about it. And then he went around. He heard from his messengers that Kali has come. There were bad things happening. So he went out. He used that as an opportunity to fight. That's what in the Sud Goswami is saying, Bhagavatam says. He used that as an opportunity to fight who? To fight the bad qualities. As a Kshatriya Dharma, that's what he was going to do that. So he went out, he went around all the directions. And when he came back, then he actually saw the Kali personified. The Kali was there and he was beating a cow and a bull. Right? That's when he took notice of this. Right? Now it is said in our Shastra, let's look at the role of the cow. Right? The cow in our society. Right? Cow is one of our mothers. There are seven mothers in anyone's life. And they are Atma Mata, Guru Patni, Atma Mata, Guru Patni, Brahmani, Raj Patnika, Dhenur, Dhatri, Tatha Prithvi, Sapt Etet Matra. So all of these sevens are considered to be mother. Right? What is the first one? Atma Mata, the mother who gives us the birth, who carries us in her womb for 9 months. Atma Mata. Second is Guru Patni. Right? Guru's wife is also our mother. Then the third is Brahmani. Any Brahman's wife is our mother. Right? Then number 4 is the Rajpatni. King's wife is also our mother. Right? And then Dhenu, which is cow. And Dhatri is nurse. So nurse is also our mother. And then the 7th is Prithvi. Mother Earth is also our mother, right? So here Mother Earth took the form of a cow, right? Because Mother Earth gives us all the grains, everything, we sustain, right? So these are our 7 mothers, right? And Shastra also says that this is the Sarva Mata Sarva Bhutanam Gava Sarva Sukh Prada. Cow, from cow we derive all the happiness, right? And she is the mother of every living entity. And from cow, there also comes 5 Panch Gavve. What are those 5 items that we get from cow?
Doodh, dahi,
ghee,
gobar, and
gomutra. Yes. Panch Gavve. These are the 5 elements. And it is only cow that even the urine and gobar that is considered auspicious. It is said that the cow in her backbone is connected to Surya. So there is a Surya Ketu Nadi, one vein on the back of the cow backbone, which has a direct connection with the sun god. That is why the cow's ghee is golden in color. Right? And these 5 elements, our body sustain. You know, there are the 3 things in the body: Kaph, Pitta, and Vata. air, bile, and mucus. So when we take these panchagavya, when we use in our when we consume them, then they maintain the balance of these three elements within our body. You see, old days people used to consume those. You drink cow urine. I mean, it's if you get some safe from somewhere, we should drink 1 spoon. Very healthy. It will fix all the problems inside the body. Very healthy. Yeah. Cow dung, no problem. You in the village they all use that. And doodh, ghee. But today people say, oh, it's vegan. There is no cow milk. We don't use ghee. Somebody say, I have allergy from the ghee. No, that is your body cannot accept ghee. Something wrong with your body. Nothing wrong with the ghee. The purity is the ghee. So that is the position of cow in our lives. So when Shaunaka Rishi, they asked Sut Goswami that when Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king, how did he rule? And obviously, why did they ask that question? They were inquiring that whether he got puffed up after getting the power, or is he still humble and he is ruling humbly? So Sut Goswami then responds to their question and he says that Kamam Vavarsh Parjanya Sarva Kam Dugha Mahi Shishichu Sma Vrajan Gava Payaso Odhasvatir Muda. So what he's saying is that Kamam Vavarsh Parjanya. So these are the sign of good kingdom. Parjanya is rain. The rain was coming at the right time. Varsha. And which will producing all the grains. So rain is coming at the right time. It is producing all the grains. Kamam Vavarsh Parjanya Sarva Kam Duga Mahi. Mahi as in Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is, rain is falling at the right time. Mother Earth is producing all the grains. Not just that. And he says that the cow, Shishichu, when the cows are wandering in the pasturing grounds, they will wet, they will be muddy, the pasturing grounds, because Payaso Odhasvatir Muda. Muda means they were so happy, the cows. When they are walking, wandering in the pasturing grounds, the milk will automatically come out from their udders and it will wet the whole area and it will become muddy. So that was the sign of right kingdom. So that was a question asked by Sut Goswami, Shaunaka Rishi to Sut Goswami, and he responds that this is how he was ruling. On the similar way, Parikshit Maharaj was also ruling the same. But now when he comes, now he sees that there is this Kali personified who is dressed like a king. Yeah, Nrip Lanchanam, who is dressed like a king and he's beating a cow and a bull. Right? And as he's going and he says how he's, now Sut Goswami says what is happening is Tatra, when he went there, the king, he saw that he Hanyamanam Anathvat, as if they don't have any carer, they don't have anybody to look after them. Like that, the king who is dressed like a king, that Shudra who is dressed like a king, Danda Hastam Cha Vrishlam, he is holding a danda in his hand. He's holding a stick in his hand. Vrishlam, who is Shudra, who is the lowest of the lowest, category human being, right? And he is beating the cow and bull like Anathvat, as if they don't have any care. Dadrashe, the king saw that. As the king saw that, then he took note of the bull. That bull was like a white lotus flower. As white as like a lotus flower. Mrinal is called white lotus flower. Yeah. So he saw the bull and bull was standing on only one leg. His 3 legs were broken. Last time we discussed what are the 4 legs of dharma.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Austerity.
Austerity.
So starting from Satya,
Cleanliness.
cleanliness, yeah.
Cleanliness. Yes.
Starting from
But starting from when we say austerity is tapasya, right? And then in Treta Yuga, cleanliness. Cleanliness. To perform yag, you have to be clean. Cleanliness. And then the third is mercy. Dwapar is mercy. And Kali Yuga is, believe it or not, truthfulness is the fourth leg. So the bull's 3 legs were broken and he was only standing on 1 leg, which is the truthfulness. And we will know how that bull is able to stand on 1 leg. So as Parikshit Maharaj saw that king, that so-called king was beating him, and that bull was trembling, he was standing on 1 leg, he was trembling, he was also urinating. He was so scared, that bull, because he was being beaten by that king. See, just visualize his position of the king. And then he looked at the cow. That cow was also getting beating from the king, from that Shudra. He was beating the cow also, and that cow was shaking. And she was hankering, she was already very thin, and she was hankering for some small grass, small quantity of grass. She couldn't even get that grass. Right? And that king was beating him. As Parikshit Maharaj took note of that, he shouted, and he shouted very loudly at that Shudra who was dressed like a king. And Parikshit Maharaj told him, "Who are you? Who are you to behave like this in our kingdom? To beating the helpless people? How dare you do that?" And as he said that, the king stopped. And then Parikshit Maharaj told him, because last time we discussed, as Parikshit Maharaj was going around the universe, what he was hearing? The pastimes. Tatra tatropi shrinvana swapurvesham mahatmana. Wherever he went, he heard the glories of his Purvaj, and which was Krishna. Those glories, Krishna Mahatamya Suchakam. He was hearing the glories. So then he stopped and he told that Shudra, "What are you doing?" Right? Yastvam Krishna Gate Duram. You think that Krishna has gone away? Yeah. Sah Gandiv Dhanvana. Now Arjun, who was holding the Gandiv, now that Lord Krishna has went back to his abode, and Arjun, who is my forefather, he has also left. Now you are behaving like this. Shochaya, someone who is helpless, right? You are so degraded that you are killing that helpless person. Then the king Parikshit Maharaj told him that you deserve to be killed. Vadham arhasi, you deserve to be killed. And as he cautioned, now that King Shudra stopped. He stopped beating the bull and the cow. And Parikshit Maharaj now stopped and he looked at the bull. Now he is asking the bull. See, he did not start hitting Kali straight away. He is following the principles, and one of the principles is our senses are imperfect. What you see might not be true. He first wants to get the Shabda Praman. He first wants to hear from. So he stopped him. But now he is inquiring. So he asked the bull, "Who are you? Are you some demigod? Seeing your condition, I feel so dejected. I feel so sad. Are you some demigod in the form of the bull? I can't believe you are standing on 1 leg. What is the reason for this, for this situation?" And then Parikshit Maharaj also looked at the cow. And then he asked Mother Cow that, "Oh mother, what is wrong? Who are you? Why is this king beating you? Please tell me." And then he gives them the assurance that in my kingdom, I belong to the, in the Kuru Vansh, any helpless person will be protected. And he puts a question mark on himself. He says, if in any kingdom, someone who is helpless is being severely beaten, is made to cry, because Parikshit Maharaj says, in my kingdom, nobody has cried. See, that was the kind of rule. Nobody cried. He said, seeing you cry makes me sad. And he says, if you cry, then my janm, my birth, my wealth, my rule, everything, dhikar, everything is useless. You know how Lord Ram says, Jasu Raj Priya Praja Dukhari, Sro Nepr Narak Go Adhikari. So they first put a question mark on himself. So Lord Ram said that in whose kingdom, if the praja, if the people of the kingdom, if the residents, if they are dukhi, if they are under stress, then that king should be sent to the hell. So like this, Parikshit Maharaj spoke to bull and cow, and he comforted them. And he told them, please don't worry, I will be punishing this, but I want to know what has actually happened. And then he says, Ragyo hi paramo dharma swadharmastha anupalan. He says the supreme duty of the king is to protect the people, and protect whom? Who are constantly situated in their own dharma. Yeah. In Manu Smriti, Manu Maharaj says that dharmo rakshati rakshita. Yeah. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. जो रक्षित धर्म है वो रक्षा करने वाले की रक्षा. The protected religion protects the protector. Tasmat dharmo na hantavya mano dharmo hatovadit. Therefore, let's not kill the dharma. Right? Let's not destroy the religion, because a destroyed religion will destroy the destroyer. So we should protect the dharma. So here king is putting question mark on himself, and he's saying it is my duty to protect. And now Parikshit Maharaj starts asking bull again, please tell what is the reason for this situation. And as Parikshit Maharaj spoke to bull now starts speaking. Now bull, who is dharma personified, so bull speaks back to Parikshit Maharaj, and he says, etad vah pandaveyana. Yeah, that what you just said is suited for the Pandav dynasty. The words that are spoken by you, they are befitting to your position. Etad vai pandaveyana. The words that you have spoken, they are well suited, they are befitting to someone like yourself to speak those words. Why? Yesha tesham gun ganai krishno. Tesham gun ganai krishno dotyado bhagwan krita. See, now bull is saying these words. Bull is saying that these are befitting because Lord Krishna was so much captivated by your devotional services that he agreed to become your messenger, that he agreed to become your charioteer. See, bull is saying these words, that these are very befitting, right? Because your words are yuktam, arth abhyam vachat, right? People who are arth, people who are in trouble, your word are taking away the fear from them. So these are very befitting to you, my dear king. And now question, but the king had asked him, what is the reason for this situation? Now listen to these three verses, very important. And this is the gist of this chapter, that we will be able to understand. You know how we say, why didn't Maharaj Parikshit kill the Kali? Now see how does Dharma respond. So Dharma is responding back to him. First he says, yes, what you have just said is befitting to your dynasty. But now he says, na vayam klesh bijani. Na vayam klesh bijani. That the reason for our klesh, reason for this situation, yeah, yatah syu purush arshabha purusham tam vijanimo vakya bheda vimohita. He says, for me to ascertain that what is the reason for my suffering. Somebody is beating you, and I come and ask you, what is the reason for you this suffering? And I saw this person beating you. I can easily make out he's beating you, that's why you are hurt. I saw him beating you, but no. But Bull is saying that the reason for our suffering, the reason for my suffering, I cannot ascertain. Why? Vakya bheda vimohita. Because there are so many philosophies, there are so many reasons given, or so many, analysis given of the situation. If you look at from a Shastric perspective, there are 6 main philosophies. Right? One is called Vaishashik philosophy, which is by Kanad Kashyap, right? Then there is Gemini, then Sankhya Yoga by Bhagwan Kapil, Vedanta by Srila Vyasdev, right? And Nyaya, Patanjali, right? And Mimamsa. So like this, there are 6 philosophies. Now who to believe? Somebody is beating you. Now let's start looking at our own situations. I'm going through some trouble. Somebody is coming and asking you what is the reason for your trouble. You can easily say, oh, the government has put so many taxes. This prime minister is useless. This premier is useless. No. So this is adhyatma. So the topic that we are discussing, these are all useless discussions. When people say and they start blaming the government, they start blaming the state and other people. No. So he says that na vayam klesh bijani istah yatah syu purusha arshabha purusham tam vijanimo vakya bheda vimohita. Because there are so many philosophies, there are 6 philosophies, and then he further elaborates on this. Parikshit Maharaj says, what do you mean? Then he says that kechid vikalpa vasna. Kechid vikalpa vasna atmanam atmanah. That's for some people who don't believe in duality. They say the reason for your suffering is you yourself. So first he's saying that, who don't believe in duality, like duality means you say sukh, dukh, because of this, because of that. No, he's saying who don't believe in duality, they say you are responsible for your own situation. Yeah. And then he says, Devam Anne. Some people say the Dev, providence. You are born in a certain family, and then in those family, there is a crook born, and then which destroys the peace of the family, and then everybody starts blaming that, right? So here he's saying, first reason is given is people who don't believe in duality, they says Atmanam Atmanah, that you are responsible for your own situation. Second, he is saying Devam Anne Apare Karma Swabhavam Apare Prabhum. So you yourself are responsible for your situation. Devyo, providence. You are that has created, like we say, flood, this, etc. We start blaming the gods, right? And then the third he says karma. You are responsible. Your karma is responsible for your situation. But sometimes, if we look at in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked from Naradji. When after the war, so many people were killed, right? We have discussed that. Right, we have discussed that when before Yudhishthira Maharaj took over the kingdom, and then Krishna Maharaj took him to the battlefield, and when he was given knowledge by Bhishma Pitama. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, this is in Mahabharata, not captured in the Bhagavatam, but in Mahabharata very detailed. Now they all came to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "No, I think it is all because of me. Everything happened because of me." And then the topic of Karna came. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Narad Rishi that you please tell me what was the reason. Why didn't I know about Karna being my brother? If I had known that he was my brother, then I would not have arranged Arjun killing Karna or Karna killing Arjun. So then when Kunti Mata found out that he is, because Yudhishthira Maharaj said to Naradji, when the Dut, when that, the gambling game was happening, and he said when Karna was speaking all the bad words, the moment I looked at Karna's feet, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, I was very angry. But the moment I looked at Karna's feet, my anger went away. Somehow because his feet were similar to Mother Kunti's feet. And whenever I looked at his feet, my anger just went. And he said, I had that natural feeling, even while looking, even though he is saying bad things to us, but whenever I looked at Karna, my anger, my anxiety went. I don't know, I think I had some special connection. And Mother Kunti, when she found out, she went to tell Karna that, Karna, please, now that you know that you are my son, can you please come and join Yudhishthira? And then he refused. Please come forward. Hare Krishna. Yeah. And then he refused. Please come forward. Yes. Please come forward. Be comfortable. So now then, Mata Kunti told Karna that Karna, you join Yudhishthira, and then you will be 6 brothers. But Karna said, no, I cannot join. And then Mother Kunti said, can you please not hurt my son, other son, your brothers? I want all the 5 children to be safe. And then Karna said, okay, mother, your 5 children will be safe. Either I will die or Arjun will die. You will still have 5 children. I will not fight with the other 4. I will not hurt them at all. But you will always have 5 children. Now, if you look back and review this, who is responsible for his situation? Who is responsible? Deva responsible. His own karma responsible. He was always cursing that why did my mother not took care of me? Why did my mother put me into the river? Now, how do you go back? So this is where Dharma's pravachan. So he's giving pravachan now to Parikshit Maharaj, right? So what he's saying is either we are responsible, one is responsible for their own actions, for their own situation, or the karma is responsible, right? Or he's saying providence is responsible, or he's saying prakriti is responsible, yeah? Or finally he says Prabhu is responsible. Some people blame Prabhu also. You know, in Uttarakhand it is said when Lord Ram once एक दिन रघुवीर बुलाए गुरु द्विज पूर्ववासी सब आए. One day Lord Ram called a meeting of all the Ayodhya Vasis. Guru Vasisht came, all the Brahmanas came, and all the residents of Ayodhya also. And then Lord Ram gave them pravachan. And he spoke to them about the human body. He says, Bade bhag manush tan pava, sur durlabh sad granthan gava. Moksha, this body is for getting the liberation. Moksha dwar dham. So this is dham to get liberation. Yehi na pai parlok savara. After getting this body, if you are not able to get to the proper lok, parlok savara is in go to the bed, rather than going to the hellish planet after getting this body, then you have wasted this body. And then those who have done that, then Lord Ram concludes by saying, So paratra dukh pavahi, sir dhuni dhuni pachhtavahi, kalahi karmahi ishwarahi mithya dosh laga. Yeah. They are in miserable state here and there. Paratra, parlok, and here as well. Wherever they go, they will be always in the miserable state. Sir dhuni dhuni pachhtavahi. Then they lament that I wasted this human body. And kalahi karmahi ishware. Kal as in time, karma actions, their action or someone else's action, and then Ishwar. So they blame the Ishwar. So that's what Dharam is saying, Prabhu. So we cannot do. And then in the next verse he says, Apartarkayat anirdeshayat. Apartarkayat anirdeshayat iti keshpa nischay. So he says it is concluded that the reason for suffering can also not be ascertained by argument. If you argue with people, you argue about your situation, by argumentation also you cannot ascertain the reason. And also by the words, you cannot describe the reason for your suffering. Right? I hope we can relate this to our own situations. That is why I'm trying to, stress on these points. So this is Dharma personified. He is answering to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj asked him the reason for your suffering. And this is his answer. He could have said easily, don't you see this king? He's beating me, and are you gone insane? Why are you asking me? Are you joking with me? Right? He could have gave those reactions. But he says, no, I cannot. And then he concludes, then he tells the king, Atran Rupam Raj Rishe Vimrasha Swamanishaya. So now, O king, or Rishi among the kings, use your own intelligence. Swamanishaya, Vimrasha. Contemplate on this situation by using your own intelligence and make a conclusion that what is the reason for my suffering.
Prabhuji, everything is initiated with Karan and Karma. So if you don't include Karma, Kal, Karma, Ishwar, if you negate all three, what else will be left there?
We'll come to that. Yeah, we can discuss about that. So this is how he responded. And now Parikshit Maharaj, as he heard that, then he was bewildered. He said, you are not an ordinary bull. And then he starts speaking back to him. He says, Dharmam Bravishi Dharmagya. He says, you are the Dharma personified. Now I can understand. Dharmagya, you are knower of the religious principles. Vrish Roop Dhrik, in the form of a bull. You know, Lord Shiva, he rides on the bull. So that is the sign. Kaho bahori kaha vrish ketu, vipin phirahi akeli kehi hetu. When Lord Ram, when Mother Sati went to the forest to test Lord Ram, Lord Shiva was saying to Mother Sati that Sati, this is Lord Ram. But Sati said, how can he be Lord? He is lamenting for losing his wife. Right? If he is Parabrahm, then how is he lamenting? Why Lord Ram was asking the trees, he was asking the leaves. And Mother Sati is saying, what kind of God is this? He is asking those trees, have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? He jumped into the water. He's asking the fish, have you seen my Sita? So Mother Sati said, he can't be the Lord. He's some ordinary king, Rajkumar, prince. And then Mother Sati went to test Lord Ram. As she went near Lord Ram, and what did she do? She put the makeup of Mother Sita. She put the makeup of Mother Sita. She went in front of Lord Ram, and Lord Ram identified that, this is Mother Sati. And as she goes, and then Lord Ram asked her, Kaho bahori kaha vrish ketu, vipin phirahi akeli kehi hetu. Lord Ram asked her, where is Vrish Ketu? Vrish Ketu, who rides on Vrish, who rides on bull, who rides on Dharma? Lord Shiva. Where is Lord Shiva? Why are you wandering alone in the forest? And as Mother Sati heard that, she had put the makeup of Sita, she straight away started running, running back. Then she realized what Lord Shiva said was right. So that's the Vrish Ketu. Vrish is Dharma. So that is why when we go into the temple sometime, you see Nandi and people bow down to Nandi. So that is Dharma. And Lord Shiva, he rides on that. So here Parikshit Maharaj now tells Dharma that Dharmam Bravish Dharmagya Vrish Roop Dhrik, that you are the Dharma personified. You have put the, you are like a bull, but you are actually Dharma speaking. And then he also makes another Siddhant statement. He says, Yad adharma krita sthanam suchakasya api tad bhavet. Yad adharma krita sthanam. One is where adharma, where the irreligious activities is happening, one, or who is doing irreligious activities. And second is suchakasya api. People who are doing chugli of adharma. People who are gossiping about adharma, they also have the same destination. So this is Dharma personified, very important for us to apply in our lives. One who is doing irreligious, he goes to hell, and a person who talks about religious, they also go to hell. Suchakasya api tad bhavet. He also goes to the same place. And then Parikshit Maharaj says that now I conclude that the Deva Maya. So he says that the Maya of the Supreme Lord, it cannot be Nunam Gatir Agochara. It is beyond our material senses. If we try to ascertain the reason for our sufferings, if we try to identify the cause of our sufferings, the cause of our situation, so Parikshit Maharaj says, Nunam Gatir Agochara. The activities of the Supreme Lord or the activities of the Maya, of Supreme Lord's Maya, is beyond our material senses. It cannot be understood by, he says, Chetaso Vachasascha api iti nishchay. Bhutanam iti nishchay. By the living entities, by your word and by your mind, mental speculation, you cannot ascertain the Lord's Maya. Right? That is why Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, then who can understand? Mama Maya Durattaya. Right? Mamev ye prapadyante Maya metam taranti. मेरी जो माया है आपकी दुरत्ति कर देगी. if you try to understand the root cause, if you try to, कहते हैं ना decode करना, if you try to decode the actions of the Supreme Lord, you cannot understand. But if you surrender to him, then he will reveal himself. Then you don't need to run after it. He will reveal himself. He will make you understand. Right? So that is the reason. So Parikshit Maharaj concludes that now I understand. Right? Now Parikshit Maharaj starts speaking to bull again. And he pacifies the bull. He says, okay, now I understand that you are the dharma. You are the religion personified. And I know that your 3 legs were healthy, or they were reinstated by Lord Krishna when he was here. Now that he has gone back on his abode, the Kali personified, or the activities of the Kali, now they are started. They have already broken your 3 legs. And this Kali, in the form of irreligion, in the form of untruthfulness, is trying to break your 4th leg also. So that he consoled the bull. And then he also told Mother Earth that, my dear mother, I understand. Oh Surabhi. He addresses her as Surabhi. Prabhupada says all the cows, they belong to Surabhi. Surabhi is the cow which came in the Sagar Manthan. Right? And that cow, so all the cows are descendant of Surabhi. And Prabhupada says emphatically that the cow, people who protect the cows, they are Vaishya. Krishi go raksha vanijya Vaishya karma swabhavajam. Nand Maharaj, he was a Vaishya. He was a businessman. Right? And the businessmen, they are not, we have so many businessmen today. They set up gambling website, they set up this website, they set up slaughterhouse, etc., etc. But the true businessman, as per our Shastra scripture, is Krishi, which is agriculture, Go Raksha, which is taking care of the cows, and Vanijya. Vanijya is in trading, trading those cow products or the grains. These are the Vaishya Karma Sabhava. Who are Vaishya? These are the true Vaishyas. But in these days, the Vaishyas, they are killing the cows. They are sending them to the slaughterhouses. So, Parikshit Maharaj tells that, my dear mother, I understand the reason for your situation. I will fix right away. And then Parikshit Maharaj, he took out his sword. He took out his sword and he says, I'm going to kill the Kali now. As Parikshit Maharaj took out his sword, then what did Kali do? He went and surrendered onto the feet of, he fell onto the feet of Parikshit Maharaj. Patitam padayor veera kripaya deen vatsala. He was, Parikshit Maharaj, he was deen vatsala. When Vibhishan came to surrender to Lord Ram, everybody was opposing that, don't surrender. Don't take him in your shelter, my dear Lord. He to Dushman ka bhai hai. He is brother of Ravan. Don't let him come under your shelter. But then Lord Ram said, no, it does not matter. Because he has come, he wants to take my shelter, so I cannot kill him. I have to accept him because he is coming in to take my shelter. Remember Lord Krishna, what did he say? When Arjun went and when he caught out of Ashwatthama, Bhagavan Krishna gave him this formula or this siddhant. He says, Mattam unmattam paramattam suptam balam istriyam jadam prapannam bhitam na ripum hanti dharmavet. Prapannam and bhitam. If somebody has surrendered to you, bhitam, if he is scared, even though he is a ripu, even though he is an enemy, a knower of dharma will not kill him. So similarly, now Kali personified, as Parikshit Maharaj took his sword, he fell onto the feet of Parikshit Maharaj. As he fell onto the feet of Parikshit Maharaj, now Parikshit Maharaj spoke to the Kali, and Parikshit Maharaj tell him that, yes, you are here, you have fallen onto my feet. Now you don't need to be fearful. You don't need to be fearful because you have surrendered. Why? Because Gudakesh Yashodharana. Nate Gudakesh Yashodharana. Yeah. Kritanjal, Badhanjalir Vai Bhayamasti Kinchit. Because you have, with your folded hands, you have surrendered into my feet. and it is the parampara of the Arjun's dynasty or the Kuru Vansh that whoever surrenders, we make them fearless. There is no need to fear him. Right? Very important. Now we are getting to the answer or the question that was asked by. What was the question? That why did he not kill him? Why did he let Kali personified free? Why did he just punish him, not kill him? So now as he surrendered, Parikshit Maharaj told him, you don't need to fear. But then he tells him, Parikshit Maharaj, that you cannot stay in my kingdom. Kshetre madiye tvam adharma bandhu. Right? You cannot stay in my kingdom because you are the friend of adharma. You are the friend of irreligion. You cannot stay in my kingdom. I will not kill you, but you cannot stay here. And he said that this land belongs to Brahmavrat. And then Parikshit Maharaj further says, because people who are living here, they are performing all the religious activities. They are performing all the yagna sacrifices. And those yagnas are meant for the Supreme Personality of God. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Aham mi sarva yagnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhi jananti tatte na taschavanti. I am the master of all the sacrifices. You know, any sacrifice you're doing, if you are taking care of wife and children, that is a sacrifice, but that is for Lord Krishna. If you're giving any charity, that is for Lord Krishna. So he is the recipient of all the welfare activities that you are doing. The moment you start thinking, I'm doing it for myself or for your self-pleasure, you're gone. Yeah, very important point. Very important point. So Parikshit Maharaj tells him, because people living here, they are performing all these yagnas to glorify Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you cannot stay in this kingdom. So herein lies your part of the answer. Kali cannot stay. Kali cannot stay where you are performing the yagna, where you are glorifying the Supreme Lord. Kali cannot come there. Kali will only come if we are not performing those activities. Herein lies the answer. Why didn't he kill? So Parikshit Maharaj told him, because here they are performing these activities and they are following as per the principles, as per the scripture guidelines, not their self-concoction. You know, not like somebody killing something, you know, those kala jadoo, this, that. No, nothing. Very simple here. All the sacrifice they are performing, this is for the Supreme Personality of God. And in Kali Yuga, what is the yagna? Hope it's better now. Okay. Where was that? Yes. Yes. Kali Yuge Yuga Dharma Namera Prachar. Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kali Yuge Yuga Dharma Namera Prachar Tathe Lagi Pitvarn Shri Chaitanya Avatar. Because Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma, is the chanting of the holy names. And to spread that chanting of the holy names, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Pitvarn, in the golden color, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came himself. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, what is the last verse? Please repeat. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanam Tam Namami Harim Param. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam start Nigam Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, the second verse of the first canto, first chapter. But the conclusion is Nama Sankirtanam, yes. Just by doing the Sankirtan, like we are doing, congregational chanting, And Kirtan, Prabhuji, Mataji, does not mean playing on Mridanga. You are distributing the books, that is Kirtan. Kirtan literally means Kirti. It has come from Kirti means what? Glorify. Glorify whom? Supreme Lord Krishna. Any activity. If you are cooking prasadam for the program, that is also linked to the glorification of Krishna. If you are setting up the place, that is also for Kirtan. If you are coming to attend the program, you are giving your association, that is also Sankirtan. So every activity which is dovetailed into the service of the Supreme Lord becomes Sankirtan. So that is the purpose. So going back, Parikshit Maharaj told Kali Yuga that here, because everyone is performing the yagna, the ceremonies as per the scriptural instructions, and those yagnas are performed for Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no place for you here. You cannot stay here. You go. I will not kill you, and you don't need to be fearful. Go. Now Kali makes another submission to Parikshit Maharaj. He says, Rajan, wherever I go, wherever I think of go, I always see you holding a bow and arrow. I don't know what to do. Then he makes a petition to the Parikshit Maharaj. He says, Tanme dharma bhratam varishta shreshta. Tanme dharma bhratam shreshta. Sthanam nirdeshtum arhasi. Yat tatra eva niyata vatsya. Atishthas te anushasana. He says, okay, king, please allocate some place for me. Please allocate some place for me. Nirdeshtum arasi. Please fix where I can permanently stay. Niyata, vatsya, where I can permanently stay. Please tell me. And not just that. He says, Atishthas te anushasana. Yeah, where I can stay under your shelter, under the protection of your rule. Please come, Shriram, please come. So he says, please designate the place for me where I can stay. Now Parikshit Maharaj thought about it. And Parikshit Maharaj thought that, okay, maybe I give him 4 places. Abhyarthitas tada tasmai sthanani sthanani kalye dadau. So then Maharaj Parikshit gave him the 4 places to stay. And what are the 4 places? Dyutam panam istriya suna yatra adharma chaturvidha. So he designated 4 places for him to stay. He said, you can go where there is gambling, dyutam, where there is illicit relationship, where people are intoxicating, and where people are killing, slaughterhouse. You can go and stay at those 4 places. Now Kali Yuga looked around and he said, there is no place like this. There is no place like this at the moment. Where shall I go and stay? Please give me one more place. So he says, please allow me to stay where there is gold. Now gold, it is not as if he has entered into the gold. It is not as if you are wearing your earrings, the Kali sitting there. Right? Right? Prabhupada explains this, right? And also our Acharya explains. So basically it is referring to the Rajogun. Where there is Rajogun, Kali Yuga will come. And also Lord Krishna alerts Arjun about Rajogun. So he says, Maha Ashno, Maha Papma Vidhi Enam Iha Verita. Kam Esha, Krodh Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhava. Yeah? Maha Ashno, Maha Papma Vidhi Enam Iha Verita. So he says, Jo Kam hai, Jo Krodh hai, the anger and the desires, they come out of Rajo Guna Samudbhava. They originate from the Rajo Guna, mode of passion. When you're in the mode of passion. And in the mode of passion, you want to achieve something, but as if it is not dovetailed to serve Krishna, then Shrama Evi Kevam. Then it's only useless labor. And then Lord Krishna says, Maha Ashno Maha Papma. This will make you, this will force you to do all the sinful activities, and not just that, Arjun, it is all devouring. Maha Ashno, all devouring. It, jaise kehte na, nigal jayega. It will swallow you. You know, I was talking to one of my colleagues and he was saying to me, Prabhu, I can feel this mode of passion. He says, when I start my day, I have meeting after meeting, meeting after meeting. And in those meetings, all the discussion is about, you haven't met your target is not achieved. What are you doing about this problem? And he says, during that time, I forget everything. I forget what is around me. I forget my family. I forget my responsibilities. I lose temper sometimes. So that's what it is. It is not far from you, right? Yes, in your work situation, you have those situations. But the way to counteract is we chant. We chant before we start to work. Because after some time, then the Krishna guides us from inside. Yeah. So he told him 4 places, and then he, no, he's okay. He's okay. Come here. What is his name? Bhavin, come here, sit here. He's such a good boy. We'll be stopping very soon. Bhavin, come sit here. Come, sit here. Sit here. Yeah, just sit here. Don't move. Good boy. Yes. After 10 years, he'll be sitting here, and he will also be preaching. Good boy. Sit here. So he was given 5th place where there is gold, but it is called mode of passion. And Srila Prabhupada then explains today's, now if you link it up to today's situation, Prabhuji Mataji, Prabhupada is in the purport he has mentioned, you know how it is related? All the countries, they ascertain their currency based on gold, right? And it is, Prabhupada says there is no fixed measure. It is all inflated. You print currency notes, you say, I have this much gold, and you can print those notes. But is there any proper measure? Your citizens are holding so much gold. So this system is not proper system. Sorry to say that. Our Acharya say that. And because of that, Prabhupada literally says it becomes the prostitution of the economy. Economy is inflated. People are, rigging the numbers. So many countries, they are hiding. They increase the GDP, inflation, all these numbers. So in reality, Prabhupada says, if that is to be regularized, then we should be using gold coins. The real transaction should be gold coins. But what we are doing is, I'm saying I have this much gold, so I'm printing these many notes. But there is no correlation. So all these currencies people are using. So that's the 5th place for Kali Yuga. Now, after giving these 5 places to Kali Yuga, then Parikshit Maharaj, he fixed the 3 legs of dharma, bull, and he also pacified mother cow. And then mother cow also became healthy. And then it is said, Kali Yuga left from there. So I hope that answers your question about, what was the question? That why didn't he kill Kali? Why did he just punish him and let him go? So we are all protected, Prabhuji Maharaj. We are all protected as long as we are following these guidelines. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, the first thing is, once one devotee asked to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, can we see God? He said, yes, you can see the God. तो उसने कहा क्या करना होगा? Prabhupada said, पहले तुमको आदमी बनना होगा. उन्होंने कहा मैं तो आदमी पहले ही हूँ. Prabhupada ने कहा no, आदमी नहीं हो. पहले 4 regulative principles follow. 4 regulative principles. What are the 4 regulative principles? So Kali Yuga went to these 4 places, and these 4 regulative principles. So now here you get the Shastric evidence. These are not someone's mental concoction. So there is a reason for asking us to follow these regulative principles, because Kali Yuga is going to go there. Number 1, where there is gambling. Yes, gambling. Where there is intoxication, where there is illicit connections, and where there is animal slaughterhouses. So Kali Yuga is going to come there. I tell you one real example. One of the family, they have 2. I think they have 2 sons, very brilliant. And the elder son, he got into the medicine. I think he was into 2nd year or something. They went to the city. They went to city in a pub. They were not drinking. They just went night out. As a, we're going night out. They just went night out into the city in a pub. And there the boys were sitting. There was another person who was looking at them. And he just came to them. He said, why are you staring at me? And he said, no, I'm not staring at you. He said, no, you are staring at me. He said, no, I'm not staring at you. And he says, you are arguing with me. He took a bottle and hit on his head. And this man who was telling me about them, he said, Prabhu, itne nice family hai, itne अच्छे लोग हैं, मैंने कहा फिर वहां पब में गीता पढ़ने गए थे. Why did he go there? He said they just went to explore. I have this friend in UK. He went to Scotland and he said, and he was telling me, oh, I visited the Scotch factory. You know how the Scotch comes from Scotland. He said, "Maine pura dekha." I understood the whole process, how they are making it. So then what will you get? So that is the reason. But if we stay away from these things, then we are very good protected. So this is the punishment for Kali, and this is also a reward for Kali, right? So that is why Parikshit Maharaj let him go. So we will just stop here, and I will quickly touch upon. So today is also the appearance days of Gadadhar Pandit. Yeah. So we sing Jai Shri Krishna. Please repeat. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar. Shiva Sadhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So these are Panch Tattva. Prabhuji, as you can see, if you looking at Laddu Gopalji on the left side of Laddu Gopalji, that is Panch Tattva. So in the center we have Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then next to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on his right hand side is Nityananda Prabhu. On the further right hand side of Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya. Then on the left side of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhar Pandit. And then on further left side of Gadadhar Pandit is Srivas. Yeah. So today is the appearance days of Gadadhar Pandit. So we call them Pancha Tattva. So why we call them Pancha Tattva is center is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. Then Nityananda Prabhu, who is an expansion of Krishna. He is Balram, none other than Balram. And then the further right is Advaita Acharya, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, who is an expansion of Balram. Because Krishna is the fountainhead, then expansion and expansion and expansion. So he's an expansion of expansion. So those three, they are called Vishnu Tattva. Then on the other side, Gadadhar Pandit, he is called Shakti, internal potency. Yeah. And then on the further left is Srivas, who is the devotee, who is Jeev Tattva. So Jeev Tattva, internal potency, and Swam, Swamansh. Yeah. So this is how we look at it. So today is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandit, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Gadadhar Pandit Adi Prabhura Shakti Avatar. Yeah. So they are Gadadhar Pandit Adi Prabhura Nij Shakti. Tanara Sabe Kore Sahasra Praniti. I bow down to them thousands times because they are Gadadhar Pandit is Lord Supreme Lord's his own Shakti. Right? So in the previous pastime, Prabhuji Mataji, Gadadhar Pandit, he was Radharani. In Braj Leela, he was Radharani. But in this in Mahaprabhu Leela, Mahaprabhu took in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So it's Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Now our Acharya says, now Krishna has taken away mood of Srimati Radharani. Now Radharani's, the mood is taken. Normally Radharani is Vamangi. Vamangi, jo leftist hote hain, they also get upset, they get angry. So all that mood is taken away by Mahaprabhu himself. This is Tattva, this is how our Acharyas explain to us. Right? If it doesn't, we can't digest, that's fine. If you can't grasp it, it's okay. Please hear. Yeah. So then Gadadhar Pandit, he appeared in the Chaitanya Leela, who is incarnation of Srimati Radharani, to support Mahaprabhu performing that pastime. It is said that Gadadhar Pandit, he was living very close to where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying, and they went to the same school. And Mahaprabhu, he would ask you a question, you answer the question, and then Mahaprabhu will accept the answer, and then he will also prove your answer wrong. He was so naughty in those days, and everybody used to think he is so brilliant. What if he becomes devotee? How great will he be? Because he will give you an answer and then he will prove himself right and he will prove himself wrong. Both ways he will prove himself. So nobody would dare to argue with Shastrarth with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's how he was. Right? But then once when he went to Gaya and when he met his spiritual master, he came back and then he was completely changed. And as he came, then Mahaprabhu was missing Krishna's association. And one day Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar Pandit that where is Krishna? And Gadadhar Pandit said, Krishna is in your heart. As Gadadhar Pandit said, he's in your heart, Mahaprabhu started scratching his own chest with his nails. I want to see Krishna. Because Mahaprabhu came in there as a devotee, bhakta. Right? So he's telling us in what mood you can get Krishna. Or this is how we should be. You know, in when we sing Shiksha-ashtakam, Mahaprabhu says, Nayanam galadashru dharaya, Vadanam gadagada ruddhaya gira. Yeah. He says, Nayanam galadashru dharaya. When will that time come, my dear Lord, that I will be crying? I will be constant crying in your separation. We claim ourselves to be a devotee. So this is how a devotee's mood has to be. Do we cry? Do we feel any tears? No. Tadashma saram. In Bhagavatam it is said that that heart is made of stone, steel. If by chanting the holy name, he doesn't cry. Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Ek Krishna Naam jivera. Ek Krishna Naam jivera tato pap hare. Ek Krishna Naam jivera tato pap hare. Jivera sadhya nahi. Jivera sadhya nahi yato pap kare. One Krishna Naam can take away your as many sins, jitna sin aap kar bhi nahi sakte. Jivera sadhya nahi tato pap karit pare. जीव की सामर्थ्य नहीं है कि वो इतना पाप कर सके जितना एक कृष्ण नाम उस पाप को हर लेता है. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj saying. Jivera sadhya nahi tato pap karite pare. You can't even do those many sins. Ek Krishna. Then what is the problem? Because we don't have that feeling. Nayanam galadashru dharaya. Vadanam gadagada ruddhaya gira. We don't have that feeling. Very soon we start complaining. Ashlishya padaratam pinastumam. Ashlishya padaratam pinastumam. Yatha tathava vidudhat lampato. Mad prananath tusa evan napar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shiksha-ashtakam last verse he is saying that Ashlishya padaratam pinastu. Oh my dear Lord, either embrace me or kick me. I'm lying on the floor. Ashlishya or padaratam pinastum. Yatha tathava vidudhatu lampat. Lampat, Krishna is called lampat. You can behave with me as you like. But you are my prananath. Mat prananath tusa ev napar. You are my only prananath, no one else. When we develop that mood, only then mercy will come. Yeah. So that is the point. So Mahaprabhu came in that form. And when Gadadhar Pandit said, Krishna is in your heart, he started scratching his chest. And then Gadadhar Pandit said, no, calm down. Krishna will come and he'll give you darshan. As Gadadhar Pandit spoke to Mahaprabhu like this, Sachi Mata was watching, Mahaprabhu's mother. And then she came over and she told Gadadhar that I see, I could not control him like you have controlled him. Right? So you should always stay with him. But here, Gadadhar Pandit, like I said, because Lord Krishna took away the mood of Radharani. So our Acharya says, Gadadhar Pandit was in the mood of Rukmini ji. How Rukmini ji could not understand when Krishna will tease him. One day Krishna started telling Mother Rukmini in Dwarka that why did you marry me? This is when all the children were grown up, grandchildren. And Lord Krishna is saying, why did you marry me? There were so many princes, so many eligible people. Maybe you should reconsider. And as Krishna said that, Mother Rukmini fainted. So Gadadhar Pandit is in that mood. She would never complain. Leftist, Vamanga and Dakshin. Dakshin is right. So jo rightist hai, they don't complain. Right? So that was because Gadadhar Pandit, his mood was already taken away by Mahaprabhu. So he didn't have anything. So he was in the mood of Rukmini. So he just submitted. And then when Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, then Gadadhar Pandit also followed. And there, after reaching there, Gadadhar Pandit took Kshetra Sannyas. What is Kshetra Sannyas? That he will stay there forever. He will not move out of that Kshetra. So that is called Kshetra Sannyas. And there, Gadadhar Pandit was given the service. He was taking care of Shri Tota Gopinath. Deity is Tota Gopinath. Tota means garden. So once what happened, Mahaprabhu, he was there, he came and he felt that there is Krishna in the ground. He said, I can feel his helmet, his mukut. And he dug. As Mahaprabhu dug, then from there, Gopinath deity came. Self-manifested deity came out. And deities came out and Mahaprabhu installed and Mahaprabhu named him Gopinath. You know, Gopinath is the topmost. I think once we have covered. Yeah, you remember? So first we pray to Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohanji. Madan Mohanji and then Govind Devji and then Gopinath is the topmost. These were the three deities who were carved by, because Mother Uttara had seen. Is it Maharaj Janmeja? Janmeja, who is son of Parikshit Maharaj. And who is Lord Krishna's Aniruddha's son? Great grandson? Vajranath. So Vajranath and Janmeja, once they decided that we need to carve the three deities, so then they requested Mother Uttara, because Mother Uttara had seen Krishna directly. So they requested her, you tell us. And when Vishwakarma carved these three deities, then Mother Uttara said that Madan Mohanji, their feet looks like Krishna. And then Govind Devji, she said their upper body part looks like Krishna, as real Krishna I saw. And face, he says that looks like Krishna. So he was, so the topmost is Gopinath, and then Govind Devji, and then Madan Mohanji. So how we approach these deities? So first we go to Madan Mohan, because Madan Mohan, who can even bewilder the Kamdev, Madan. Madan ko bhi jo moh lete wo Madan Mohan. So the idea is first we go and we look at the feet of Krishna. When we first pray to Madan Mohanji, our bad desires can be nullified. That is the process. So first we pray to Madan Mohanji. Then once our bad desires are nullified, then we go to Radha Govindji. Govindji's senses, who is the master of the senses. Now your senses are purified because the bad desires are gone. Now you can approach Sri Sri Radha Govindji. And now your senses are purified. You have worshipped Govind Devji. Now the topmost is Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. So we are so fortunate in our Sydney, North Sydney temple. Our deities are Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. And next month we have anniversary of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, 51st anniversary. Please make some time to take the darshan. We should go and take the darshan of the deities. I'll tell you one quick pastime and then we will conclude. Once there was this Prabhu who went to Jagannath Puri. And he was there for a few days. He took darshan of Jagannathji every day. And he was a VIP. So the Pujari will take him into the inner sanctum and he will get to see Lord Jagannath very closely. And he was there for 7 days. And on his last day, when he went to see Jagannathji, the Pujari told him, today you come with me and take darshan from the back. He said, what is this? Why should I go to the back when I can see the Lord right in front of me? He said, no, please, I request you come and take darshan from the back. So he took him at the back to get darshan of Jagannath. He went to the back and he took him somewhere close to Garudustham. You know, Garudustham, from that's where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take darshan of Lord Jagannath every day. So he took him there and there was so much bheed. इतनी भीड़ में धक्का लग रहा है, लोग push कर रहे हैं, and he could hardly see. He said, I could half see Jagannath ji, I could hardly little bit of Subhadra Maharani, and Baldev ji I could not even see. And then he told that Pujari that what kind of darshan is this? Today you brought me here and I was getting direct darshan. He said, yes. He said, Prabhu ji, जब आप और दिन दर्शन करते थे, आप जगन्नाथ जी को देखते थे, लेकिन आज जगन्नाथ ने आपको देखा. Today Jagannath has seen you because you were trying to get his vision. So he was looking at you that somebody is trying to see. So the point is, when you go to temples, don't be bothered. If there is too much rush, don't. Some people make it an issue. अच्छे से दर्शन नहीं हुआ, आगे जाना है. भगवान आपको देख रहे हैं. He will see you. So please do visit Shri Radha Gopinath. Take their darshan. Otherwise, he will see you as well. You know, if you can't see that. So Gadadhar Pandit, now we'll just conclude that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, self-manifested deities, he named them Tota Gopinath because Tota was the place, and Gopinath he named it. He installed them there, and then Gadadhar Pandit was serving. Every day he will do Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes there. He will recite Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Mahaprabhu will come and listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes every day. And it is said that the Shri Prahlad pastime and Dhruv Maharaj pastime, Mahaprabhu must have heard thousands of times. He will say, please repeat, please repeat, please repeat. And then when the time came for Mahaprabhu to wind up his pastimes, after 48 years, he left this universe and he entered into the knee of Tota Gopinath. Because the followers or the disciples, they could see Mahaprabhu's Angvastra lying there, and there was a little crack in the knee, and they say Mahaprabhu wound up his pastimes, and this is how he left. And after 11 months, Gadadhar Pandit was younger than Mahaprabhu. It says, but Gadadhar Pandit was missing Mahaprabhu's association so much that very soon he became old. At the age of 47, his back was bending. He couldn't even stand properly. He couldn't even put garland to Tota Gopinath. And then he was thinking that I'm going to get another Pujari to do the service. As he was thinking that I'll get another Pujari to do the service, then Gopinath, Tota Gopinath came into his dreams. He said, why are you getting another Pujari? He said, my dear Lord, I can't serve you properly. I can't even garland you. मैं आपका श्रृंगार नहीं कर सकता. मैं आपको चंदन नहीं लगा सकता. I can't put sandalwood pulp on you. Then Tota Gopinath said, don't worry. Next day, as Gadadhar Pandit woke up and he went to the temple, then guess what happened? Gopinathji, he was sitting. Gopinathji, that is the only place where the deities are sitting. For Gadadhar Pandit, Tota Gopinath, he was sitting. And then Gadadhar Pandit served for another 11 months after Mahaprabhu had left. And then Gadadhar Pandit also left this place. He also entered into the body of Tota Gopinath, and then he left. So today is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandit. So once again, let's pray for each other, Puruji Mataji, because Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu told Sanatan Goswami that Name Ruchi Jiver Daya Vaishnava Sevon ei se adhik dharm nahi suno Sanatan. Vaishnav Seva. So, and who are Vaishnavs? Who are Lord Vishnu's, devotee. Or Vaishnav jan to tene kahiye peed padai jane. So they are the real Vaishnava. So let's pray for each other. We get the association and mercy of real Vaishnavas. And let's keep assembling like this, Prabhuji Mataji. So the lesson from today's chapter, I hope you can tell anyone, whoever now questions, why am I in this situation, right? So you have understood that, why you are in this situation and how you can be saved from this situation. Please come and get into the association of devotees. Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamnam Tam Namami Harim. जिस भगवान का नाम संकीर्तन करने से सारे पापों का नाश हो जाता है. सिर्फ प्रणाम करने से दुख का नाश हो जाता है। उन भगवान हरि को मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ। एंड रिमेंबर दैट अदर लाइन, व्हाट डिड आई से? एक कृष्ण नाम, एक कृष्ण नाम, जीवेरा ततो पाप हरि, जीवेरा साध्य नहीं यतो पाप कौरित पर। एक कृष्ण नाम इतने पाप को मिटा देता है जितना जीव की सामर्थ्य भी नहीं है पाप करने की। The only thing is we have to chant from the heart. We have to really call out from the heart, and this is the association, Prabhuji Mataji, because ekant mein bhakti nahi ho sakti. So this is the importance of association. Let's please keep associating with the right people. Satam pasangat mam virya samvit. भगवान कपिल देव ने भी यही कहा, सत सात्विक मोड की एसोसिएशन आप बनाएं, सब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी. All these problem, material problems will go. Please, let's not be bothered. Do your duties very nicely, and you will never have anything. Let's maintain nice association. अब आपको पता लग गया कलयुग कहाँ है, सबको पता है कलयुग कहाँ है. Right? Now it's your duty to protect yourself. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji Mataji. We'll stop. Hare Krishna, Kavita Mataji. We will stop now. And we once again, Mataji, we pray for you and your family. And yeah, Mataji, you are very brave, and Krishna will look after you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, 8 minutes.